went down the hill about 12 o'clock, and I sat right down on a great big rock. Looked in the water and bless my soul, there was a great big catfish swimming in that hole. I'm going fishing all the time, and baby's going fishing too. Bet your life, your loving wife, she's gonna catch more fish than you. And a fish bite, if you got good bait, here's a little something I would like to relate. When the fish bite, got no time to wait, so I'm going fishing, baby's going fishing, everybody's fishing too. Went to the store, I took a look, got myself a pole and a line and a treble hook. And an old man smiled and said to me, son, catch a great big catfish for me. I'm going fishing all the time, baby's going fishing too. Bet your life, your loving wife, she's gonna catch more fish than you. And a fish bite, if you got good bait, here's a little something I would like to relate. When the fish bite, well, they just won't wait, so I'm going fishing, baby's going fishing, and we're going fishing too. I should have waited on that chord a second, should I? Well, I sat right back against a big old tree, and there was a big old bass just a-looking at me. Now when I threw my bait, he took my line, got him on the bank, and he sure looked fine. Yeah, I'm a-going fishing all the time, baby's going fishing too. Bet your life, your loving wife, she's gonna catch more fish than you. And a fish bite, if you got good bait, here's a little something I would like to relate. When the fish bite, there's no time to wait, so I'm a-going fishing, and baby's going fishing, everybody's going fishing too. All right, that is the Fishing Blues, or as recorded by Doc Watson, I'm Going Fishing. He just called it the I'm Going Fishing song. It's a unique song. You might have noticed it has a really unique chord progression. That's because it was originally recorded in, 20s, basically, I think it was the 20s, by Ragtim Texas Henry Tomas. And wow, if you've never heard Ragtim Texas Henry Tomas, you got to look this dude up. One of the most unique blues players of the era, 1920s, maybe early 30s. Totally unique style, a lot of African and Caribbean influence. And he played the pan flute. It was called the quills, and it was like on a rack, just like you play the harmonica now, right? But it was a slightly adjustable pan flute. Huge influence on Canned Heat. If you ever hear Canned Heat's I'm Going Up the Country, that's straight out of Ragtime Henry Thomas's songbook, okay? They changed the lyrics a little bit. Huge influence on the Moby Grape. I don't know how many grape fans there are out there. I'm wearing a grape-colored shirt. I love the Moby Grape. Actually, Skip Spence is really one of my favorites, and all those guys were really good. John Cipollina, he was with them a little bit. He went on to be in Quicksilver Messenger Service, and those guys were really good. Really good. They don't get the credit they deserve. But everybody does this song differently. By the way, Canned Heat was also, like, if you ever watched the Monkees when you were a kid, like, they were reruns when I was a kid, right? Canned Heat was actually playing the music. So the guys that were actually in the Monkees, like, Nesmith and all those guys, Peter Tork, they eventually basically threatened to quit the show if they didn't allow them to start playing their own instruments. They went on to some great country rock albums, excellent country rock albums. If you're into the Eagles and all that, look up what became of the Monkees, because they were really good. But Canned Heat was just awesome. Really, truly one of the greatest blues rock bands. I'd put them right up there with Butterfield and Bloomfield. Just amazing. But anyway, everybody plays this song differently. To my ear, Henry Thomas recorded in some kind of an open tuning. Uh, I tried to do one of those, like look up one of those programs, so like transcribe a song, tell you what key it's in at least. There was no way it could transcribe an old, recording from the 1920s, all scratchy and everything. But it showed the key of A. Did he record it in the key of A? I don't know. That pan flute was tuned to C. Now, A minor is the same as C major. He could have done a slight adjustment. Maybe he did do it at A. Maybe, like what happened with a lot of those tunes, it was either recorded or the playback speed was at the wrong speed. One of the reasons bluegrass music became to be played so fast was a lot of the old time records were recorded at the same speed, or the old Victrolas were overwound, and there's actually a little gauge. I have a couple old Victrolas I've collected. There's a little gauge, and it basically tightens down and it'll slow the record down. They were being played back at too fast a speed, so all the pickers in the mountains started trying to play along with those like lightning fast records, right? Kid Tanner never played that fast. The Skillet Lickers were not, they were an old time band. Or Al Hopkins Hillbillies, what a great band they were. They were not playing that fast. So that's how bluegrass came to be so fast. I wonder if Henry Thomas's playback was a little off. But anyway, Taj Mahal did the song in the 60s. He did it in open D. He did it as more of a country blues tune, like I just did. The original is that booma chicka, booma chicka, booma chicka. That Henry Thomas kind of almost invented that, so it's another reason you got to hear that. When Doc did it, Doc and Merle did it on an album somewhere around '78, and I think Doc was flat picking, strumming as he played, and Merle was doing thumb picking and fast. They did an open E, as best I can tell. Open E. Who plays open E, right? I am so lazy when it comes to tuning my guitar and untuning it and retuning it and changing tunings. I hate it, okay? Like I said before, I wasn't around during the Merle Watson period. He was a great thumb picker, but he died when I was a kid. Doc was usually playing this one solo or with a couple other pickers, and sometimes he played it thumb style, finger style. Sometimes he played it with a pick. I think he played it in open D by the time I came along. So to me, it sounds right in D. I play it in D. I play it as sort of a laid-back country blues song, not that of the original. And literally, some people would say that's the Moby Grape rhythm. I mean, they were kind of famous for that. Comes totally from Ragtime Texas Henry Tomas. You got to check that dude out. He was so good, and we're so privileged to have his music on YouTube now. I got a whole playlist. Like if you go to my page and click playlists, classic acoustic fingerstyle blues. I've got almost 400 tunes on there, and several of them are Henry Thomas tunes. But let's look at the song. All right. So, like I said, odd chord structure, because in the 1920s things weren't formulaic yet. I mean, literally, the 12-bar blues was not standardized. It would really, I guess you would say, golly, I don't even know who first standardized. Probably something like St. Louis Blues, but even that's got, a couple of odd chords in it that we wouldn't think of. I think 8-bar blues was maybe a little more common than it is now. You don't hear much 8-bar blues, but anyway, the verse is much shorter than the chorus. It's like the verse is just an intro to the chorus. So I'm just doing just a regular old D chord. Let's see. Went down the hill about 12 o'clock to G. Sat right down on a great big rock back D. And then you go to an E7. And we don't hear that a lot in blues anymore, but that was really common in the 20s. It's a 2-5-1 progression. So if D is your first chord, E is your 2, right? To A, which is your 5. And you could play the A open, you could play it in this position. I think that high note just doesn't sound quite right to me because I'm going back to D. So anyway, the verse is literally just very simple, okay? It's repeated essentially twice in the chorus, but with a little difference on the turnaround at the end. So let's see. I'm going fishing all the time to G. Baby's going fishing to D. Bet your life your loving wife's gonna catch more fish. Going to the E7, catch more fish than you. A7. Any fish bite if you got good bait. Gee, here's a little something I would like to relate. And when the fish are biting, well, they just can't wait. E7. So I'm a going fishing. G. We were going. Everybody's fishing or something, and we're going fishing. A7 to D. Okay, so simple chord structure, but it is a little different. Like I said, everybody does this song in different tuning. Everybody also has their own lyrics. So if you saw me stumble a couple of times, I was trying to remember the lyrics Doc used because that's, I grew up listening to it. Not only was my mother a huge Taj Mahal fan, I mean, like from her college days on up to when I was a kid, huge Doc Watson fan. So we had both the Taj Mahal record and the Doc Watson record in the house. And then I saw Doc do it probably 100 times or more live. So it's all kind of mixed together in my head. So everybody has their own tuning and their own lyrics. So you can make this one your own. I'm serious. So because I hate changing the tune in my guitar, I'm not playing in drop D. I'm doing a closed D position. It's nothing more than a C chord moved up. And the trick is getting that bar right there on the second so you can go. I guess what is that, A? Yeah, so I'm just going from that closed D position. And then I go up here to, and that's that's A, B, C, that's a D7 actually, down to, I guess C7, if you want to get technical. It's actually not chordal as much as it is just a melodic bit. Right? That's going to take a little practice because hammer on to the, what is that, B? Yeah, B with your middle finger. And hit the D and then close that chord. And then we're going to go to a G7 in an F position. And that's important. That note back here, normally if we were playing a G7, this is going to be closed. But that's not the right melody note, right? This is. So. That takes a little practice, but it makes all the difference. Now I'm going to do that 2-note slide thing again, but I'm going to slide up here. Right? It's actually easier if you use your pinky and ring finger because your hand falls into place better there. So. And that also got a different kind of note there. So I'm playing on that again, that closed D, but play that open E. Now you could play the closed E there, but it just kind of feels right to go. So it's just a repeating of a pattern essentially, but it sounds good, I think. I mean, I've never played it and someone said, that sounds goofy or something. So I'll go through it one more time. Let's see. All right, have fun with that. Probably gonna be a little challenging. We don't often play tunes out of a closed D position. Get used to it though, because you're gonna find it very useful. In fact, I guess over the next month or so, I'll probably do 2 or 3 more tunes in a closed D position, and you'll just see how actually convenient that is. It's far easier, far less time than tuning and trying to get to an open D. Just it takes a little dexterity and it takes a little practice, and it really sounds good in some blues tunes like going down the road feeling bad, right? Or yeah, sitting on top of the world. You could easily do it that way. Good old Doc Watson Fishing Blues. So play around with what I showed you for Fishing Blues, and definitely listen to Ragtime Henry Tomas, Texas Ragtime Henry Tomas, or Ragtime Texas, I think was the way it was done. Man, what a brilliant musician. They just don't make him like that anymore. I mean, seriously, this is a guy out of a different era, and you'll love his music. I mean, I love his music. I think you'll love his music. Anyway, y'all, have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.